Club Racing fans, it's time. We are now breaking the engine down. So remember when this happened?
Oh well, let's plug into that one then. Woo.
So let's get to it.
Fixing Shit with Justin, brought to you by Club Racing UK in association with Vehicle Tech Mobile.
The obvious signs. We know it's got some holes in it, right? It did go with a massive bang, but it actually is sea solid. So indication somewhere where this has possibly lost oil pressure somewhere, or something inside is stopping it from moving. So let's break it down and let's see what the offending article is going to be. So we're currently at the halfway stage. Definitely have some like piston to cylinder head contact there. That's here. Oh, dropped some oil on there. Another one there. Looks like a chip of something there has been left from. And then down on the cylinder head, we've got some shiny marks here. That was a seated back in the cylinder head though, so you know I think the head's savable, which is really important because this has all been nice and someone's given us a bit of love, ported it out, and all the other little bits and bobs that Nick has done to it. So I think we're all good. Set of valves, that'll cure that little situation hopefully. But let's carry on. Where's this little drama? Slightly out of time. Shouldn't really be floating around like this. These two are good. This one, what's going on here? So we'll push down, will it? Oh, nope, it's pretty stuck in there. Let's carry on. Quite obvious though. We know the block is scrap. Massive hole in it. The crank is definitely scrap. I can't reuse that for what we're doing. It's not worth it. Maybe the pistons, depending if the skirt of the base of this is in good nick. If it's had damage, that's not reusable. These could be. They're Omega high compression pistons as well, so it's kind of a good thing. Be nice to save these. Obviously, depending on what build happens to this, but you like to try and save as much as you can from something that's been such catastrophic damage really. So let's see what I find is savable, hey. So we can see once that sump's off, this has really let go. This is ridiculous. I found a shell. It's dark, so it's got very hot. So definitely oil related. Oil starvation. This is unreal. Look at that. Never seen anything like this. I know broken down or smashed apart engine, definitely. This is nuts. There's bits everywhere. So the next step is, let's get this oil pump off. Let's see if this flow control valve is faulty. Let's see if it's stuck. There's a bolt here, and then there's a spring, and then there's a plunger. So you're revving up, you get to a certain specified RPM. Every manufacturer is slightly different. The oil pressure will build up, but obviously it can't go too high. Too much oil pressure is not good. Too much oil, like not enough oil pressure isn't good either. So this little control valve here, when it peaks there, it will then go, right, let's relieve the oil off and maintain that oil pressure there. So if this is ended up getting stuck and then you're producing and it's just wasting away all the oil pressure because the valve doesn't return back, then that could be our problem. So let's get this off, have a good old look. Alrighty, so pump is out. Remember that return valve we were chatting about with the spring and the bolt holding on the end there? So this is here. Now this will not move. Well, it will move, but it does take a fair bit of like punching with a screwdriver to go anywhere. So that is not obviously a good thing. Loads of scoring. The top of these ring gears here are heavily scored, and at the back of them as well isn't that great either. But the other thing I found was this gear here, focus in, is actually cracked. It's straight in half there, which I've never seen, but to be honest with you, I've never stripped down any blown up engines because of just time. It's not really a thing I would do for a customer. And this one's gone as well. So it was very, very small hairline crack in there as well. So that's obviously our cause of our lack of oil pressure. The return valve itself, is that got stuck. Now, because of the amount of debris that's in there, there was loads of debris and bits and bobs inside of all of this. So that could be the culprit why it's stuck. I managed to actually push it back. And there's loads of iron filings in there. See, it was still running and sucking at the same time. It's not instantly going to stop sucking out from the sump. So I think that's a reason why our engine's just gone bang, to be honest with you. And I'm going to carry on now. Let's strip the rest of this block down. I need to make sure that cylinders 1, 2 and 4, them pistons are savable. We need to know if we can keep them pistons or not. So let's get to it. Excellent, as quick as that. Valves are out. So the little bit of bearing we were chatting about at the start before we took the head off, this is that is it there. So there and there, that's where the pistons made some just contact. It's done a fair bit of damage up here as well, not loads, but it's done some marks and made some markings down there as well. So get the camera in there a bit. Oh, look, that's better. Yeah, just up here. It's really hard to see, but there as well. So the cutouts are for the valves on the top of the piston made that. But then yeah, this has caused this as well, here and there. But it hasn't actually damaged any valves. There's no significant massive S-ing like people who have taken if everyone's this situation before where, let's say if your cam belt snaps, sometimes you get these out and they are like all over the place. So the only problem I did have was actually cylinder number 4 and cylinder number 3, these green marks here. These ones, when pulling the valve out, when they got to the top of here, they would go, it's like it's burred over there. So I need to check out on the top of the underneath the bucket in there as well, and see what's going on. Is there some sort of, there's a gap's too big maybe? I wasn't tapping it at all, so I need to see what's going on there. I don't want that happen again. It shouldn't have happened. All the others just slid straight out, no problem at all. I'm pretty good with that. So the only thing I have to do is probably just, as I said, just skim that head, get rid of that little bit of there, and there's a little tiny bit there. You can't even see it, but you can feel it when you run your finger across. So that is number 1. That's got to go. We got to start with a good base. So yeah, probably before we got the valves out, really maybe should have span the head over and then filled these with some like WD-40 or something, and then seen if it was leaking out of here. But unfortunately, I just got a bit way ahead of myself there, eh? Bit of a silly idea, but I'm gonna replace these valves, and then when I put it back together, I'm gonna carry out that process. I've seen some people put valves on a drill before. And spin them, but like my chuck's so worn out, you ain't gonna see that, like it's flapping around like this all the time, so that ain't no good at all, eh? And once it's back with the engineers, I reckon I'm gonna take all of these out here, which are the oil ways, here and here, and there as well, and there's another one down there as well, and I'll then take all the other little bits off and then get them a good old clean through, so they run down. It's like, where is it to? There it is. So this little shape here, it runs, oil runs down there and also supplies it to the cams and everything else. I didn't see any, there wasn't no little tiny get like brass bits that are like dug into where the cam sits. Didn't see anything like that at all, so I'm pretty happy with that. Just want to make sure that all of these are out, and I'm happy that there's no any more bits and bobs in there that are going to cause any issues to cams when they go back in, scoring. Like we're going to go down the same path again, aren't we? If we spin a bearing, big issue. So I think really, apart from going down the engineers and everything else, we're at the end of this really. It's been awesome. Got this all apart, did some diagnosing, put you back in there, and found the reason why it's happened, which is all great. We need to know why that's happened, so that is what we really need to find out now, because we can't be exploding blocks every 5 minutes. Like, this gets expensive. We haven't got an engine yet. We need to find a block now, or a whole engine, because we need windage plate, we need a sump, we need a whole block. There's buckets and buckets of things in there which have just been exploded and abandoned, basically, haven't they? Really, it's no good for us. So a whole complete engine will be awesome if we can get hold of one of them. That's ideal. So really, hopefully, get another engine, and then we document this, and we get all this tied up, this head, and then document like sorting out the old one, and hopefully it's probably going to be some second-hand minging thing that's maybe sat in someone's shed for years. Who knows? But we'll hunt around and see what we find. So it's been awesome. I think take over Nick's channel for 5 minutes, been a good laugh, eh?